Got my hand on your cow's ass. Make sure you get to school. Let's go right up my nasal passage. Good morning, pack mates. We're here at the Island. What is it called? Good morning, pack mates. We're here at the Skye Museum of Island Life. We haven't been in yet. The dog's not allowed in the buildings, so I'm going to leave her outside. And these are croft buildings, but I know that these three here, these three buildings, are original. They're 200 years old. And the others are reconstructions. So let's go see what island life is all about. Hello, mate. No, stay there, Taco. You're not allowed in here. There's a cow being milked by a lovely lady. I think her name is Agnes. Do as you're told. Stay. Try to video. And you're not doing as you're told. You stay there, don't you? When you're told to stay there. Thank you. So sorry, Agnes. My dog was being inquisitive. Don't blame her, really. There's no reason she can't come in. But you know, rules. Got my hand on your cow's ass. So this is the original byre used by the Graham family who lived in the old croft house. This is where they milk the cows. You're going to sit here. This is the original croft house stay. It's very dark. Can you imagine living here in 200 years ago? No Netflix or Prime or YouTube. Just the Bible. The sewing machine. You could look at yourself if you wanted. Tend to the baby. The beds look really quite comfortable. I'd be quite happy living here, actually. Harsh winters, though. And you can imagine that this fire, though, would have warmed this room up. The people that lived here, they were the Grahams. John and Annie Graham. So this is John and this is Annie Graham. And I imagine sat by that fire, doing their bits, knitting, smoking your pipe, cooking. Would have been actually quite warm there if you'd have had the fuel for the fire. I bet they had to manage that quite well. Bovril. Now, whoever had been to a football match at a shitty ground on a Tuesday night, freezing cold, always got to have a cup of Bovril. Actually, now I really want a Bovril because it's really cold and wet today. And there's another bedroom. This must be the master bedroom. This is where the magic happened. Where Annie and, forgot his name already, Annie and John. The old croft house was originally home to John and Annie Graham and their 10 children. They'd have had 10 children cooped up in there. Not a body heat. Well, they lived here in 1957. The house dates back to the mid-19th century and it's been a museum since 1965. This is a smithy. You can imagine all sorts of people needing their horses, shoeing horses, tools, fixing, repairing and making. There we go. Don't know what your name is, do you? We'll call you Smithy. Seems like an appropriate nickname. Cheers, Smithy. I found the local shop and this must be Maggie. Would have been a lifeline back then. No cars, no buses. Kids were as 12 years old before they made the journey by foot to Portree, which is 25 miles. So who's this? Why aren't you at school? Make sure you get to school. Let's see what we've got on the shelf. Candles, you'd need them. Coleman's mustard, Bourneville chocolate. Bet that was a luxury out here. Horlick, Jacob crackers, Oxo, Fry's chocolate. Well, I was going to give you a big rundown of superstitions that fishermen had, which was quite interesting. Then Taco did 2 massive shits in the space of a minute because she always chooses the most appropriate place to go. I'm going to put these down. It's going right up my nasal passage. Yeah, so about those superstitions, bad omens for sailing. If they were to go down to their boat before sailing and they were to meet a woman on the way, or they were to meet a red-haired person, or they were to meet a minister, then this would be considered a bad omen. And most fishermen would not sail. They would just turn around and walk home for fear of ill-fated sailing journey. Also, forbidden words on the boats. You couldn't say salt and you couldn't mention salmon, but you could instead use the word red fish instead. Unlucky days, you would never sail on the first Monday or the last Friday of every quarter, so boats just wouldn't go out on those days. New Year's Day was unlucky to catch fish. Nets could only be cast on the port side of the boat. Whistling at sea was believed to raise wind, so you didn't whistle. Boats leaving port should always turn clockwise, and the fisherman's wife, when she's making bread, she shouldn't blow the flour off the bread, the excess flour, because that was thought to induce a storm. She should never comb her hair after sunset. That invited bad news. And then there's other ones related to clothing, like there's lichen dye that they use to dye their clothes, and they would never wear that kind of clothing at sea because I guess it was bad omen. So it's funny because anything to do with the sea, they didn't want to insult the sea gods. Anyway, that's enough. Let's get this dog and those 2 bags of shit in a bin. Not the dog, but the other bit. You're happy with yourself? A little supply of shit. Bless her. She wouldn't go when I wanted to go, when I tried to get her to go this morning. She wants to hold it in for a museum. Just how she rolls. It'll always be how she rolls. Hello mate, can I get a cappuccino Do you do like bacon butties or anything? Bacon butties or anything? No. Thank you.
For all the wrong reasons.
Looks like that poo is now this cow's problem. Not really, I'm going to find a bin. Wanted a bacon butty. No, we don't do bacon butties. They're charging £2.50 to go and see a couple of Highland cows down there. Why would you pay £2.50? I think you get to feed them as well. I've seen loads of Highland cows around. People paying money to go and feed them, which is cool. That's what makes your holiday. Right, just quickly, we've pulled up an Iron Age souterrain. So souterrain is like underground chamber. It's like a French word, 2,000 years old. So there was a roundhouse up there, and it was part of a small farming community. This was put in all along the Atlantic seaboard, Scotland, Ireland, Cornwall, and even into Brittany. Well, they think they were for storage, basically, so that it would help the communities here get through a long, harsh winter. Hello, again. We've just had some lunch in Ewig, courtesy of the Anchorage Cafe there. They wouldn't accept payment once they heard my story, which was nice. We've just driven to a car park here where we're going to walk to the Fairy Glen, which is just an intriguing landscape, part of the Tottenish Ridge. I think it's a 1.5 kilometre circuit. So let's go and see what it's all about. But all these mounds were the result of landslips probably millions of years ago. Smaller versions of what happened at Kerrang and the Old Manor Store left these little magical looking mounds. And there's a castle here, which isn't actually a castle. It's a natural stone formation that actually looks like a castle, ruined castle from a distance. This is Castle Ewan, so this is what looks like a castle. Go on, good girl. Just had my bloody lunch. Village of Hills, the Village of Hills in Gaelic, and it's just a picturesque little place. Come on, good girl, clever girl. Go on, go ahead. Up, this way. Girl. That's it, that's the Fairy Glen in all its glory. It'd be good to have it to yourself, wouldn't it? On a sunset or a sunrise. It'd be pretty epic to come at the right time of day. But yeah, I give you the Fairy Glen. So we're going to go get back to the van and we're going to drive further around the island now and see what we find on the way. Let's go, let's do this. I don't know what's going on here. Someone performing some sort of bone ritual. I don't know if something's actually happening here or whether it's just a bystander that's playing with rocks. Can I be cheeky and ask you what was happening there? What is that? Or is it private?
Private.
Okay, no problem. It's very interesting. Some sort of ceremony. What's the significance of walking around?
No clue.
You don't know? Oh, you don't know either.
Correctly, I read something about wishes coming true if you just finish it round and out, but I guess it was this. I've read so much about Scotland and all these magical places.
Yeah. So where do you have to start at the beginning?
Yeah.
At this pit there?
Yeah.
And make a wish? Just one? Or can you have two?
So for every turn, one wish.
Are you got to do it back as well? Or are you just doing it for luck?
I'm Like,
Oh, that's cheating. Okay, well, I'm going to do that. Now I've... Come on, Taco. Let's make a wish. Taco, you're getting in the way of my wishes. Yeah, look, people put like offerings, I guess. I haven't got anything to offer. I'm going to see what that girl was up to. I mean, I think she was making an offering. It was quite cool. And I asked her if she'll share what she was doing, and she wasn't so keen, which is fine. That was her private moment. But good on her. It was quite heartwarming to watch her do that. Has your wish come true yet?
kind of raining.
Yes! Is that what you... It stopped raining.
Maybe you need to do an offering for a wish really to come true.
Yes, I think so, but I didn't have... all I've got is poo bags. Or my GoPro, and I'm not giving that away.
I totally understand.
Anyway, thanks for wishing the rain away.
Yeah.
I really wanted that girl to share, bless her. I hope whatever she was wishing for, praying for, comes true, and that she has a really good day and a happy life. Okay, so I just did a bit of research on these fairy circles. They're not ancient or anything, but they are associated with pagan and Celtic rituals. It's interesting actually, because walking the circles, the direction that you walk them is actually significant, and it matters. I mean, that girl was making an offering, supposedly to the fairies, or the land spirits, which makes more sense if you're spiritually connected to the earth. Apparently she was walking clockwise. If you walk clockwise, you're moving in harmony with the sun, nature and good fortune. So she was making a blessing or an offering to the land spirits. And it's funny because I walked anti-clockwise, exactly the same direction I'm doing this UK coast tour. And that's weird, because you're more like you're offering a blessing of guidance of good luck, or to release energy, bad energy, or unwind energy, which is more of a protective ritual than a blessing or an offering. So there you go. Now you know. And I'm being watched. Hi, wave. But now you know. Onwards to fucking glory. We've made our ritual subconsciously for protection for the rest of this journey. Protect me, land spirits, fairies, Mother Earth, whatever you are. Hope you're listening. Just found this cute little museum in Dunvegan called the Angus MacAskill Museum, and this guy was an absolute giant. Taco's pulling me again, I'm sorry. He was born in 1825 in Sheeby in Burnaghay. Fourth child of 10. His father was only 5'9", and his mother was a good size. Angus was not expected to live because of his smallness. I'm not sure what that meant, because he was obviously a small child, but he soon shot up. There's his family tree there. He was 7'9" and 425 pounds. Sadly, he died on 8th of August 1863 of a week's sudden illness and delirious brain fever. And this is the guy who he went around the US and Canada on tour with. He was called the General, and it was General Tom Thumb. General Tom Thumb, the smallest full-grown man of his day. So Tom Thumb and Angus MacAskill side by side. That's how they would have looked. And you can imagine back in the 1850s, people paid to come and see these guys. And Tom Thumb would stand and dance in the palm of Angus MacAskill's hand. And then then Angus would put him in his inside coat pocket as part of the act. This must be his actual jumper. It is absolutely massive. He was only 38 years old when he died. I mean, the guy... Good grief. That's true to size. It's an honesty box, then it's £2. Alright, it's £2, so let's put £3 in. £10 note, put it in there, taking 5, 7. Always makes me feel really awkward, I don't know why. You feel like you're doing something wrong when you're helping yourself to change that's rightfully yours, but good old Peter. Peter MacAskill, obviously a distant relative also. Maybe Peter is Danny MacAskill's father. If only he was here. fascinated. There's so many questions in my head that we're not going to know the answers to without Peter here. But that's it. I quite like that. Remains a bit of a mystery.